Right now, somewhere in America, a bear is standing 30 feet from a sleeping camper, and it already knows they're there. And that camper's gonna wake up tomorrow morning totally fine. No idea how close it got. Take a second and actually sit with that. You're basically 200 pounds of warm, breathing meat, flat on your back, eyes closed, zero defenses. No claws, no fangs, no speed. You can't even run in your sleep. By every rule of nature, you should be an easy meal. And this isn't rare. Millions of people do exactly this every single summer in grizzly country, wolf country, mountain lion range. So why doesn't something just eat you? Let's talk about what's actually out there while you're asleep. Wolves, mountain lions, black bears, they're not lounging around at night. Dusk to dawn, that's their shift. They're up, they're moving, they're hungry. And here's the wild part. They already know exactly where you are. A bear can pick up your scent from over a mile away, sometimes farther depending on the wind. A mountain lion can sit close enough to touch your tent, and you would never even know it was there. They're not missing you in the dark. They're choosing not to bother. Same goes for wolves. Their sense of smell is so sharp they can pick up your heartbeat's vibration from surprisingly far off in the right conditions. These aren't animals stumbling around blind. They know precisely where every camp, every tent, every person is within their territory. Why, though? That's the real question. Because predators don't survive by being brave. They survive by being careful. A wolf that takes dumb risks doesn't live long enough to raise pups. A lion that charges at something it doesn't understand doesn't eat next week. Every single predator alive today is descended from animals that played it safe. And humans, we just don't compute to them. We don't move like prey. We don't smell like prey. We definitely don't act like prey. A deer freezes. A rabbit bolts. Predators have that script memorized. You just lie there, breathing slow, completely still, for hours. That's not in their playbook, and it throws them off completely. There's actually a name for this: neophobia, fear of the unfamiliar. Most big predators have it, and honestly, it's the reason a lot of them are still alive. In the wild, the stuff you don't recognize is usually the stuff that ends up killing you. And we bring a ton of don't recognize with us: fire, metal, synthetic fabric, food wrappers, sunscreen, bug spray. Even our sweat smells strange to them, packed with chemicals from stuff no wild animal has ever encountered. To a wolf, a person zipped inside a tent doesn't smell like dinner. It smells like a mystery it hasn't solved yet. And mysteries don't get approached. They get avoided. Now here's the part that really seals it. Humans have been hunting apex predators for basically our entire existence as a species. Wolves, lions, big cats. We've been going after them for tens of thousands of years. We've flat out wiped some of them off the planet completely. The dire wolf, the cave lion, gone for good. The predators still around today learned something important, passed down generation after generation. Humans aren't just dangerous. We're unpredictably dangerous. A sleeping deer is still just a deer. A sleeping human might have a weapon 2 feet away. Predators that grow up around people learn fast to keep their distance and stay cautious. But the ones with 0 human contact at all, they're actually more curious, less careful, quicker to approach. That fear isn't built in from birth. It's learned. And it's been handed down for a very long time. Okay, but attacks do happen. People get mauled. So what's actually going on there? Almost every single case traces back to one of 3 things. First, food. Once a bear learns the campsites mean snacks, it stops seeing you as a threat. It starts seeing you as a vending machine. And that's a completely different relationship. That's not the bear getting brave. That's the whole equation quietly changing underneath you. Second, desperation. A hurt or starving animal that physically can't hunt normally might break its own rules just to survive one more day. Back in 1898, 2 lions in Kenya killed dozens of railway workers over several months. When researchers finally examined the bodies, both lions had severe dental damage that made hunting normal prey nearly impossible. Third, surprise. Corner an animal by accident, stumble on a mother protecting her cubs, and it's not hunting you at that point. It's defending itself, and that's a very different kind of attack. Most mountain lion encounters that turn violent follow this exact pattern. Someone rounds a blind corner on a trail and startles a cat mid-nap. Give any wild animal enough warning, enough space, and enough time to leave, and it almost always will. Notice what's missing from that entire list. A healthy, well-fed predator calmly deciding to eat a sleeping, harmless person. That combination basically doesn't happen in the wild. Wildlife biologists have a term for this too. They call it conditioned avoidance, and it shows up in almost every large predator species that shares land with people. It's not one animal being unusually chill. It's an entire species-wide habit, built over thousands of years of trial and error. The ones who guessed wrong about humans didn't get a second chance to learn from the mistake. Here's a detail most people have genuinely never heard. Wolves are obsessed with reading social structure, constantly figuring out who's dominant and who's vulnerable in a group. Researchers studying wolf behavior have watched them come across sleeping campers and just circle from a distance, never getting close. A motionless human doesn't submit, doesn't dominate, doesn't send any readable signal at all. And that confusion, weirdly enough, is exactly what keeps you safe. There's something bigger sitting underneath all of this. For most of human history, the dark was genuinely terrifying. We built fires, walls. We slept in groups because our lives depended on it. Back then, that fear made total sense. We were smaller, slower, way more exposed than we are today. But somewhere along the way, the balance quietly flipped. We became so widespread, so consistently dangerous, spread across every continent, that predators had no choice but to adapt around us or disappear entirely. The wolf pacing outside your tent right now isn't deciding whether to attack you. It's deciding whether you're even worth the risk of getting close to. And almost every single time, the answer comes back no. It's a strange kind of safety when you think about it. We're not protected because we're strong. We're protected because generations ago, our ancestors were dangerous enough, often enough, that the lesson stuck. And the numbers back this up in a way that's honestly kind of surprising. Millions of people camp in bear and mountain lion country across the U.S. every single year. Fatal attacks on sleeping campers across every recorded year of national park history? Basically zero. You are statistically more likely to get struck by lightning in that same park than eaten in your sleep inside it. You're more likely to get hurt on the drive to the trailhead than by anything waiting outside your tent. Park rangers will tell you the same thing, over and over. The danger people imagine and the danger that's actually there almost never match up. The fear we carry and what's actually happening out there in the dark are two completely different stories. So next time you're lying in a tent, listening to something move out past the tree line, here's what's really going on, whether you can see it or not. It already knows you're there. It smelled you hours ago. It's been listening to you breathe this entire time, tracking every small sound you make. And it's choosing on its own to stay exactly where it is. Not because it can't reach you, but because somewhere deep in its wiring sits a lesson passed down through thousands of generations. You're not prey. You're something else entirely. Sleep tight.